Greetings, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. I want to talk about this whole economic crisis. Not really about how I'm dealing with the economic crisis, just all the political rhetoric, the back and forth in regards to it. Now, I watch different programs. Sometimes I watch a conservative program or listen to some conservative radio. I watch some liberal programming and some liberal radio. And the one thing I noticed, well, let me back up just to preface what I'm about to say. I do not consider myself to be either liberal or conservative. Now, in times past, I have voted Democrat, but I've also voted independent candidates too. So I vote what my conscience and my beliefs tell me to, normally. Now, the one thing I notice about the Republican Party, it talks a lot about opposing what this current administration, i.e., the Obama administration, is doing. And one of the things I notice is that this Republican Party, the conservative radio and even conservative television, they have a tendency to just say no. They're quick to tell us why something that Obama does isn't going to work. Fair enough, I don't agree with every single thing that Obama does. However, I pose the question to anyone who's Republican or conservative, what's your solution? And it seems that most conservatives and or Republicans, now I'm not making those terms interchangeable just to throw that out there, they seem to just sit on their hands and say no. And it seems the Republicans are just the party of no. I don't see the Republicans as someone looking for true solutions. All I see them doing is just saying, we're against big government. We're against big government. We like small government. We like small government. Well, what's your solution to handle the economic problems that are coming? Because both parties seem to agree that there is a problem economically, but it seems that at least the Democrats are stepping up and doing something. And the Republicans are just sitting back and saying, personal responsibility, smaller government, which to me sounds more like buzzwords than actual principles or even an actual position. Of course, no one is going to deny being personally responsible. That would be like me spending all my money going down to the bar and drinking all my money up, and then when my cell phone bill or my rent is due, I go, oops, I drank all that money up. So I sometimes wonder, are we really looking for solutions, or are we just arguing? Are we, pardon the expression, just intellectually and politically masturbating? Or are we actually trying to help people? Now, I don't know what to do because I'm not an economist. I'm not going to be arrogant enough to even try to solve a problem that has happened that was 8, 9, 10, probably 20 years in the making. So this isn't an economic problem that really just begun with the advent of Obama's administration. This happened umpteen years ago. I'm not even gonna blame George W. He did his dirt, but I'm gonna take it. It goes back further. So why are we even pointing fingers? And that's all everyone, both sides. I want to jump on both sides real quick. Everyone seems to be pointing the fingers and playing the blame game. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. And we don't need to do that. We really need to find solutions. And everyone at the bottom, the everyday person, not the politician, not the legislator, not the judge, not the congressman, not the lobbyist, just the everyday person. And I love how a lot of conservative radio loves to talk about how Washington has become corrupt. Get out of here with that foolishness. Washington, D.C. has always been a corrupt thing. Many have talked about corruption in politics for decades in this country. Whether it was Richard Nixon's Watergate scandal, whether it was the Teapot Dome scandal back in the days of, I believe, President Taft. So, and for any history people out there, please correct me if I was wrong on that. But we have all that stuff going on, and then we're all of a sudden saying, Obama came in and all the corruption came in too. All parties have been corrupt. As long as there's a man or a woman that has some semblance of what they think is power, they will abuse it. They will use it to get their way. So I think the people that ultimately suffer are going to be the citizens of this nation. But I do think I find it disingenuous when a lot of these conservatives come out and say, you know, bigger government leads to socialism. And yes, I'm not really here to discuss what will lead to socialism or what won't lead to socialism, but I do want to know, what is your solution? Because I'm tired of just people screaming personal responsibility. Yes, we should be personally responsible, but if I'm being personally responsible and my neighbor isn't, then what's that going to amount to? Or if my political leader isn't being responsible and I am, well, I'm still effed, because I'm still gonna have to deal with whatever decisions that leader has made, because it's gonna affect me through policies. It's gonna affect me through municipal and city and even state laws. I wonder why my burger at the restaurant is now $80 because the taxes went up, or whatever the case might be. So all industries are affected. All aspects of society are affected by a leader's decisions, and sometimes that effect isn't felt until years later. I feel that politics is a murky and messy game. I feel that there's way too much finger pointing on both sides. But I really feel like, just on the conservative side, no one has a real solution. They're just a bunch. It's like they're a bunch of kids complaining. It's like children that complain about everything but then offer no solutions. You ever had those kids? Have you ever been that kid growing up? I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Well, what do you like? Well, what would you have happen? So, just like this healthcare thing, we got into it about the healthcare thing. I've never heard a Republican actually give a solution on good healthcare. All they've said are just on healthcare. Healthcare is expensive. I think, just like anything, we live in a capitalist society, so I think it's really messed up that, let's say I was flipping burgers at Mickey D's and some dude is a lawyer. That dude as a lawyer has access to better insurance. He's got access to better monies. He's got the resources, where me, the dude flipping the burgers at Mickey D's, I'm going to have to, if I get sick, I'm screwed. What am I going to do? Now, you can tell me, go get a better job. Well, okay, I can get a better job, but in the meantime, I'm still sick. So what I'm going to do? So my whole point is that I'm not necessarily for this government takeover of healthcare, but at the same time, what is your alternative solution? I guess I'm tired of just seeing all these little conservative people on the radio, hearing the conservatives on the radio and seeing them on TV. This will lead to socialism and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, but what's your solution? And they never give a solution. All they do is, well, for lack of a better term, whine and complain about what the other guy's doing, but not offering any solutions or trying to fix things at all. And that right there is immature and childish. Well, I've said my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. Take care.